All right, so we're going to take what we learned with our special angle pairs with our transversal, and we're going to be able to solve some problems with them algebra. All right, so I want you guys to kind of work on all 10 of these for today. I'm going to do a couple of with you guys, so we'll do 2 together, and then hopefully that'll be enough to get you started. All right, but we could just look at number 1 here. We could start right here, nice and easy. So if you look at the picture, there's 2 kind of angles that are marked with some numbers. So this is going to be the first, this is going to be the second. So what you want to do first is just identify what angle pair that is. So just like you guys did with that coloring activity, you guys are going to say, okay, well, this is, top right, this is top right. Since they're in the same location, these are going to be corresponding angles. So it doesn't ask you for this, but it is going to be important to kind of do this so you can know the relationship. The next thing we're going to have to do is, okay, we're going to have to think about, okay, corresponding. Corresponding means that these things are congruent, so they're going to be equal. So if things are congruent, remember they have equal measure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 angles. Since they're congruent, I'm going to set them equal to each other. So now I got to do a little bit of algebra. So I'm going to say 5x minus 2 equals 58. All right. So first, identify the angle pair. These were corresponding. Second, identify the relationship. These are congruent. And then next,
please report to the cafeteria at this time.
Set up your equation and solve it. All right. So here, I have to get rid of my 2 on this side. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Get that x by itself. And I'm going to have 5x equals 60. Lastly, I want to be able to solve for x, so I got to divide both sides by 5, and I'm going to get x equals 12. And that's all we're trying to find here. We're just trying to find the variable, so we don't have to go back and plug in. But that was a little bit of an easy one. It might have been hard to, find the corresponding. I know that one's a little bit tricky, but, hopefully you guys are okay with that. Let's try one that's a little bit more involved here. So I'm going to take a trip down to number 9 here. All right. So the first thing you might want to notice is, we have 2 variables. So we have x's and we have a y. All right. When you set up your equations, never have 2 variables. So we're going to take this piece by piece. Let's look at the x's first. Okay, I have an x here and I have an x here. Let's try to figure out what angle pair that is. That looks like it's going to be alternate. One's on the right, one's on the left, and they're on the inside. So that's going to be alternate interior. So I'll write that down. So that's going to be alternate interior. And then again, I got to think about what the relationship is. Alternate interior angles are also going to be congruent. So I'm going to take those 2 x angles, I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I'll have 8x minus 31 equals 6x plus 3. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and plug or solve for my x. So this one's, same idea, but a little bit more algebra. So I'm going to choose to move my 6x over. Now I'm going to simplify a little bit. 8x minus 6x, that's going to give me 2 x's. Don't lose your negative 31. Don't lose your equals. And don't lose your 3. So now at this point, I have all my x's on the left, so I have to get all of my numbers to the right. So I got to move this 31 over to the right. So since it's negative 31, I'm going to add 31 to both sides. And I'll get 2x equals 34. Last step is our division step. 34 divided by 2 is going to give us 17. So we know x equals 17 for this problem. All right, so we solved for our first variable. Now let's see if we can find something out here to solve for our second variable. So there's 2 different ways you could do this. I'm going to use linear pair. You could have also used same side interior, but basically what you're going to do is you could plug in, the 17 to find out what these angles are going to be. So 8 times 17 minus 31. So I'm just plugging in for that x. I'm going to do it on my calculator. 8 times 17, that's 136 minus 31, 105. So this angle right here is going to be 35. Or I'm sorry, 105. I already know this angle is also going to be 105 because I know these are going to be congruent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to relate it to this y angle. So if I look from top and bottom here, these two angles are going to be same side interior. You could have also used linear pair. So these angles next to each other make up a straight line. So these are going to be supplementary. Same side interior is also supplementary. So, I knew my alternate interior angles go for the x's. My second angle pair I'm going to choose is going to be same side interior. And I know same side interior have to be supplementary. So I have to add them up and set them equal to 180. All right. So specifically, I'm going to choose these orange angles. So here's my orange angle. Here's my other orange angle. Those two angles added together need to equal 180 because they're same side interior. So I'll take the first one with my y. I'll say, okay, 5y plus 35. Now I want to add that second angle. I know it says 6x plus 3, but I know it really is 105 because I plugged it in. So I'm just going to put 105 there. Equals 180. So now I have one equation, one variable. I could definitely solve this. So let's combine some like terms first. Let me keep the 5y. 35 plus 105 is going to be 140. And I'll keep everything else the same. Now I have all my y's on the left. So I got to get all my numbers to the right. So I'm going to move the 140 over. I'm going to use subtraction. And I'm going to say, okay, 5y equals 180 minus 140 is going to give me 40. And then lastly, I got to divide each side by 5. And I'll get y equals 8. So I was able to solve for both of those. I just had to kind of do a double step there because we had two variables. But it's still the same kind of idea. I'm going to identify the angle pair. I'm going to identify what their relationship is. And that's going to tell me how to set up my equation. All right. So I did 2 for you guys. Number 10 is a little bit tricky. So if you need help on that, definitely let me know. But I would like you guys to complete the ones we didn't do.